Alrighty, so we're going to start our next unit, which is about proofs. And proofs are kind of a staple of geometry. It really helps get our logical thinking brain working. But they are a little tricky at first. So we're going to start with some basics. We're going to use some algebra that you are already familiar with, and then move on to algebraic proofs. So to start with, I'm going to have you guys get your worksheets out. This is what your worksheet looks like, is properties of equality. Hopefully you've already written your name up at the top. So my name here, I'm going to just do this to show you what you need to do. My pen is upside down. Wow, that's going to go great. Okay, so at the top, I am Mrs. Jacobs. I've written my name at the top. Make sure you do that too. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So these are things that you probably know, but we want to make sure that you know all of these. Some of them are kind of tricky down at the bottom. And you're going to create this as a reference sheet for yourself to be able to refer to throughout this whole unit. So this first one, the addition property, we're going to use letters. So we say if A equals B, we are allowed to add something to both sides. So A plus C equals B plus C. The addition property of equality says that if we have something equal to another thing, we can add the same thing to both. Subtraction property is super similar. If A equals B, then A minus C equals B minus C. You can subtract the same thing to both sides of the equal sign. Multiplication, same deal. If A equals B, then A times C equals B times C. It's kind of a little times button, or make it a little bit more circly. All right, division property, same idea. If A equals B, then A over C equals B over C. We've divided both by C. Next one, distributive property. You've learned this in the past. A times B plus C. Then that means that we can multiply each. AB plus AC. Some of you have called this the rainbow method in the past because you kind of draw little arcs here. We do A times the first one. We do A times the second one. The next one here is the substitution property. If A equals B, then A may be replaced by B in any situation or equation. Okay, so A can be replaced by B. All right, the next one is reflexive property. You're going to use this one more than you think, but it seems a little silly. It just means that A equals A. It's the same thing. We know that it always equals itself. Symmetric property, again, it seems a little silly, but you're going to use this more than you think. So it's really good to have a reference. If A equals B, then B equals A. We can write them backwards of each other. And this last one is a little tricky, but it is called the transitive property. And it says that if A equals B and B equals C, notice that there's the same thing over here. They're both equal to B. That means that they are equal to each other. Okay, and you're going to use that quite a bit, and that one's one of the tricky ones to spot. So what you're going to do here, notice it says must do. You're going to be looking for that for a key as you go through this packet. It says name that property. Write the name of the property that justifies each statement. So I'm going to do about 3 to 4 of those with you here on this video, and then I'm going to let you do the rest yourself. When you think you're finished, come check with me or check with your class supporter, and they will have an answer key to check you. Okay. So what we're going to do, I'm going to do, let's see, I think I want to do this one. Number 4, it says if negative 5x minus 1 equals negative 11, then negative 5x equals negative 10. So what you need to do is think about, if I was doing this as a math problem, what exactly did I do to get from this first step to the second step? And what it looks like I've done is I've added 1 to this side of the equation, and I've added 1 to this side of the equation. So now I have just negative 5x equals this negative 11 plus 1 is negative 10. That means that the property I used is the addition property. Okay, a lot of students trip up here because they see this negative and they think, I know this, it's subtraction. But don't look at what it is. Think about what process you do to go from one step to the other. All right, let's do a couple more. One that I really want to point out is this one, number 9. It says if 3x equals 2y and 2y equals z, then 3x equals z. So we've got that right at the top of the screen here. That's going to be this one, the transitive property. The transitive property says that if we have something equal to another thing, and that other thing is equal to something else, you can essentially take out that middleman because these are equal to each other. I messed up. I'm going to Control Z. There we go. I'll write this in nicer handwriting. Oh my God. Okay. Transitive property. Nice handwriting. Transitive property. Okay. So now let's choose another one to do. Let's do question number 12. So in 12, we have 3x squared plus 1. So it says, given 3x squared plus 1, if x equals 5, then 3 times 5 squared plus 1. Okay, so it looks to me like what we did is we substituted. We knew that x equals something, and so we substituted that in for our x. So I'm going to write that here, substitution property. Right? And then I want you guys to fill the rest of these out and then check with me or check with your classroom supporter to see how you did. All right, so I'm going to let you practice that, and then you're going to come back for the next thing. Good luck. Ask questions if you need to.